do you go out of your way to question things as you read them, even if they have, like, especially if they affirm what
Yeah,
you
I try to
want to
be
believe?
careful of that because it's easy to get lost of like I'm reading a thing that affirms what I'm saying. Like there was that some guy President Sunday, was it President Sunday or was it somebody? No, the Pearl Brain guy on Twitter links me a study of he links me a study of um, the Fafa Leifi or whatever the fuck. It's like trans people from a Samoan culture. And
Hmm.
he's trying to say that, like, well, look, this is proof that there are going to be a lot of trans people with no dysphoria. And there are a few reasons why I think this is bullshit. The way that it's presented, I don't know if these people, blah, blah, blah. But somebody in chat immediately links a Jesse Single, I think his name is Single.
Single,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jesse Single article that kind of like rebukes that. And I clicked that tweet immediately. But then I think to myself, like, I really want him to be right. I really want to click this. And it seems like he clicks it and he does debunk it. But like, that's not a good thing. Like I have to go back and I need to read that study so that I can fully engage with it. It's not enough to find something and then immediately search for somebody that like rebuts it and then go, oh, whew, okay, look, this is good. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about it. Somebody linked to Jesse thing. Whew, done, took care of that. Like that's not, I don't think that's honest engagement with criticism.
Mm-mm.
That's just like, it's like if somebody gives you a study that you don't like and you immediately go Google like XYZ study debunked. Oh, thank God I found it. Like you're never going to have your mind changed on anything. You might always be wrong about a thing because there might always be one debunking. It might be that Jesse's wrong there. So like I need to read that study and then Google around to find more information about it before I just find the first debunk of it and take that at face value.
Would we, when we go into a situation and where we want it to be, like, I never want to hear a story about police being racist. I never want it to be true.
Hmm.
I have that bias. I do not want it to be true. What kind of bias do we call that?
You don't want it to be just a bias, I guess.
Just a bias? Because, like, I think we all have that kind of bias, and like where you have people on the, like, the leftist side of the left, they want. I feel like they want that to be true.
Yeah, of
Any bad
course. And
story
we're
about the
starting to see
police.
that like more and more kind of with like the Uvalde story. We've had a couple of pretty sad things come out. Have you been following any
Hmm.
of this?
Yeah,
So,
I can't watch the video, but I've seen a lot of screenshots.
oh no, I'm not talking about that. So like there was a cop in a hallway who took out his phone and it had like a Punisher background.
Hmm.
And did you see anybody making fun of this guy?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, so people were making fun of this guy because he's got wow, big badass with his phone. Blah, blah. Well, it turns out that the reason why he had his phone out was because his like wife, who was getting murdered in one of the classrooms, was trying to call him, and he tried to like go in and stop him, but like the other cops wouldn't let him go in. So people are like making fun of this guy for a quick perception that they want, because that's a story we
Hmm.
want. We want that to be the case. That like yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit cop. Blah 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 blah. Um, but that wasn't the case, right? And then there was also the part where there was a police officer walked up, and even in my chat, I saw people do it, and even I made fun of this because it was kind of funny. A cop walks up and gets like hand sanitizer, and people making fun
Okay.
of this.
Yeah. Cool. Tell me about that because I saw that and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Supposedly, somebody said that this guy was a medic and he was going to be interacting with people soon, so he was just trying to like keep his hands clean in case he needed to bandage anybody or whatever.
Oh.
So like yeah, so it seems like so you have to be really careful that there are things that we want to be true, hardcore, but like I said that. I think I gave that when that guy invited me to talk to those two college classes. That was a point that I'd made both times. When I go into a story, I need to know what I want. That's really important. Like when I'm watching a Jordan Peterson video or a Joe Rogan video, I want them to be wrong because I hate these. I don't hate them, but I
Hmm.
really dislike these people. I really want them to be wrong. But I have to be aware of that because that means that I'm predisposed to saying they're saying things that are wrong that might actually be correct. They might even be right about things that I care about that I don't know enough about. That could be the case. But being aware of those biases going in is really important. Otherwise, you get stuck in this world to where you can kind of convince yourself of anything as long as you go in with the correct biases. Because I can Google, if I'm Googling incorrectly, if I'm Googling from a poor epistemic foundation, I can find really whatever I want. I can look at XYZ debunk and probably find a source to reaffirm whatever bias I have if I'm not aware that I have that bias, you know?
Exactly. And that's the, what we call that, just an implicit bias, like what you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's exactly like we ought to be able to be aware of those and engage with whatever information we're talking about, debate, topic, article, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We should be aware of those as we're reading things so that we're not, it's like, yeah, I don't want the cop to be bad, but when I come across information that says the cop might have been bad,
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to honestly engage with that. And I think that that's the core problem with so much of this information that drives our discourse in this space in
Mm-hmm.
particular, like the
Yeah.
online politics.
And the problem is also we don't talk about it well because like the level 1 engagement is, yeah, I'm biased. Okay. The level 2 engagement is we need to get rid of our biases. That's never going to happen. As long as you
No.
have any amount of normativity, meaning any opinion morally on anything at all, you're always going to have some bias. The next level, level 3 engagement, is I have biases. I need to be aware of those so that I can counteract them when I'm doing research. That's like the mature person, the mature researcher step, is to go, okay, I've been tasked with fact checking. I did this on stream, a Joe Rogan video. I don't like Joe Rogan. Basically anything he says about vaccines, I'm going to instantaneously assume it's wrong. But I need to be aware of that because it means I need to fact check those claims all the more harder, because he might say something that to me sounds, I just want to be wrong about it, but he's actually correct on it. I need to be super aware of those things rather than like bullshitting myself into believing like, oh, I'm not biased at all. I'm just like with the science. So I know Joe Rogan's wrong on everything, right? Rather than like getting into a trap where you think you're more objective than you actually are. Because it's not the, there's a really good quote and it's very concise, but I don't remember it. But it's something like, ignorance is so much less dangerous than like false knowledge or something. Like it's the person that doesn't know is far less dangerous than the person that thinks they know, if that person is wrong.
Yes.
And that's something that I think everybody should take to heart. Yeah.